Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world show made for the fans by a fan. I'm your host as always, Richard Tiemann, and this is the award-winning fan show. That's right, everyone's a fan of something. We've got something for every fan, even if it's a bit of sad news to start off the show. I'd like to welcome you all to episode 474, but as many of you are aware, we lost a rock legend yesterday. Eddie Van Halen, throat cancer, the age of 65. The hits 2020, unfortunately not greatest hits, just keep on coming. So if you're rocking out to some Van Halen, I salute you, because what else are you going to do right now? You got to look back and reflect on the good times and cherish the memories. If you were fortunate enough to see Eddie and Van Halen live in concert, props to you. It's not something that many of us can say, at least the most recent generations. But for those of you that did, I'm sure it was an experience of a lifetime. So, we're sad for the news. And one more time, rest in peace, Eddie Van Halen. And once again, welcome to episode 474. We've got a great lineup and a lot to talk about for you today. I wanted to get kind of the sadder news out of the way first, but still acknowledge that we did in fact lose a rock legend yesterday. But now it's on to the happier news, if there is such a thing in 2020, which I believe we have for you. So without further ado or any more delay, here are today's headlines. Headlines are brought to you by Dynamite Enterprises. They can customize your world and do so in a number of ways for your personal, promotional, or marketing needs. Hats, t-shirts, beanies, polos, jerseys, plaques, awards, tablecloths, backdrops, or even stickers. You can visit dynamiteenterprises.com to see their full catalog, or check out their Instagram, Dynamite Enterprises. And if you know what you want or you need a quote, hit up Ethan at dynamiteenterprises.com. Dynamite Enterprises, customize your world. We begin today's headlines like we have the past several weeks with a look back at the previous week in the NFL, now that we are in the thick of it, of the 2020 NFL regular season. So quick, what we learned from week 4, which we learned a lot, actually. Week 4 seems to be that week that things start to become a little bit more clear as far as who's a contender and who's a pretender. It's a quarter of the way through the season. Where did the time go? But first and foremost, the Browns might not actually be that bad. And yeah, Coach Brian Schmidt, I'm talking to you, bud. You think that the Browns are the Browns? I believe the Cowboys are the Cowboys. Okay, we agree on that much. The Cowboys are definitely the Cowboys. But am I willing to die on the hill that the Browns could actually be good this year? I don't know. I'll sit on the hill for a while, and I will pick the Browns in week 5. They are playing another team that people are uncertain about, the Indianapolis Colts. We'll have that breakdown for you when we do our week number 5 preview. But yes, the Browns might actually be good. 2020. You're full of surprises, aren't you? That you are. So, Coach Schmidt, what will it be? Are you going to take the Colts this week and prove me wrong? We'll see. I'm calling you out, sir. Houston, we have a problem, or I should say Houston had a problem. It's problem Bill O'Brien. I said it for the last 2 weeks that the Texans had peaked with Bill O'Brien and Deshaun Watson at quarterback. Now, I still believe Watson can be a phenomenal quarterback, have an amazing career, and is an incredible talent. But for what Bill O and that defense and that offense were able to do, you saw the best hits last season, plain and simple. So like the Packers and Mike McCarthy, thanks for the memories and for all that you've done, but best of luck on your future endeavors. That is where the Texans are now, as they have fired Coach Bill O'Brien. They have thanked him for his time and all that he has done for the great city of Houston and the Houston Texans. And now Romeo Crennel will assume the head coaching responsibilities. You may remember him from his time with the Kansas City Chiefs, but he's been around for a long time as head coach, coordinator, and a number of other roles. So he will step back into the head coaching role for the Houston Texans. I like this move. I think he'll probably be the guy for the remainder of the season. Granted, it's only week 4. There's a couple of other teams, though, that I think need to follow suit with what the Texans have been doing. And those are the New York Jets. Head coach Adam Gase. They're 0-4, and I don't know how. They kind of went all in on Sam Darnold, but man, that clock is a-ticking. It is ticking. There has not been a whole lot of great moves to come out of that. They got Le'Veon Bell, yes, but that was really about it after they drafted Darnold. And then Dan Quinn. Oh, he took you to the promised land, but it was the Super Bowl that we all remember, whether you're a Patriots fan or not. And whether you're a fan of Kyle Shanahan and you put the blame on him, I don't know. But the Falcons are 0-4 as well. I think, honestly, this week is do or die for these two head coaches. It's a must-win if you want to live to fight at least another week. But your thoughts, Fan Nation. Who's next to go? Who should have been gone already? Who surprises you the most that they're still there? Is it Dan Quinn or is it Adam Gase? There's a few other coaches that could be on the chopping block, but man, 2020, like, what do you do? It hasn't been anything like a normal season, the offseason. I mean, if we had a regular, normal offseason, OTAs and a preseason, are we still having these conversations? Are the teams like the Falcons and the Jets still as bad as they are? I don't know. Falcons are finding new ways to lose all the time, which is crazy. And then the Jets just can't seem to get anything to go right for them. Even against Denver, who was led by Brett Rippon. Props to him. He's a Pacific Northwesterner. I think that's right. So good on him for winning his Thursday Night Football debut with the Broncos. But if you're the Jets, man, I don't know. I don't know what that locker room is like. Also, the Mullins experiment is clearly over in San Francisco. There were people that thought that Mullins should be the starter over Jimmy G after week 1. And after a humiliating loss to Philadelphia, look, the Mullins experiment is over. Okay, we can move on from that. Jimmy G is the guy. But what Shanahan and that team, with all the backups and the injuries and calling people up, have been able to do on the East Coast against the New York teams, and then to come back home, they're 0-2 at home, they're 2-0 on the road. Go figure. They might be one of those road warrior teams that we see in 2020. But that, I'm just happy that has been settled now. I hate that we had to lose Sunday Night Football to the Eagles because I have a couple of Eagles fans. Yeah, they exist in my circle, and they've been in my inbox all week. So, okay, props to you guys. I'm 0-4 in both my fantasy teams, and then I took another loss to Coach Cory Roberson for Fan versus Fan Show. I'm hoping to get it right this week against Coach Cory Ross of the Quad City Steamwheelers, so make sure that you stay tuned for that. But other than that, really not a whole lot of takeaways from week 4. I feel it was just more reassurance of the things that we kind of already had an idea. The Chiefs are really good. Seattle continues to be surviving solely on the talent of Russell Wilson. Aaron Rodgers is amazing. Drew Brees has still got it, in my opinion. And Tom Brady is finding ways to win as often as the Falcons are finding ways to lose. So it was a crazy week 4. We'll have our week 5 preview coming up in a little bit. But also a big welcome officially to, you may have known them as the Prescott Valley IFL expansion team. And they will not be the Prescott Valley football team. They are the Northern Arizona Wranglers. Welcome, guys. Can't wait to see you take the field for the IFL 2021 season. It's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure that you mark your calendars, that you go and follow them on all major social media platforms. NAZ Wranglers is going to be a whole lot of fun for the state of Arizona and its third team and what looks like a solid 12 teams for the 2021 season. Speaking of Arizona, did you know that Matt of the Real Film Nerds is actually an Arizona native? I don't know why I felt that was relevant today, but there really isn't a better segue I could think of to give you guys this week's Real Film recommendation.
What's up, Fan Nation? It is Matt and Mike of the Real Film Nerds podcast once again and check it out. It is October. It's exciting. It's amazing. It is Mysterious Mike Talon's favorite time of the year. It is our annual Harvest Horror Fest. And the first one out of the gate, one that I believe Mike picked, 1993 classic Leprechaun. Mike, go ahead, do your thing.
All right, so it's Leprechaun, and this was written and directed by Mark Jones. It's starring Warwick Davis and Jennifer Aniston, and it's about an evil, sadistic leprechaun going on a killing rampage in search of beloved pot of gold.
Go ahead, Mike. Keep talking. I know you love this movie.
Oh, this is a lot of fun. It's dumb. It's like a horror comedy movie, and I know it's quite old, Matt, now, but I still really liked it. It's gory. It's just ridiculous. I loved it.
I feel this is absolutely ridiculous, but it is a horror classic. So if you have not seen The Leprechaun at this point in your life, you probably should sit down and watch it at least once just to say that you've seen it. Outside of that, if you've seen it once, you don't need to see it again, is my opinion.
All right, Matt, that's your opinion. I say go see it. Anyway.
I say hard pass if you've seen it before. It did not age well. So, all right, well, next week we are reviewing my suggestion for the third annual Harvest Horror Fest, and that is the original Friday the 13th.
All right, I'm looking forward to hearing from Jason Voorhees and the crew. So that should be fun, Matt.
Well, make sure to tune in. Check it out. We're doing horror movies all month long. Most of them are classics because, let's face it, the movie theaters are dying. So anyways, thanks for letting us break in on you again, Richard. And take it easy, guys. Enjoy this awesome month of horror.
All right, guys. Thanks again for the great recommendation. Yeah, I got to really work on my segues sometimes. But no, it's a true story. Matt Hinshaw, amazing photographer, is an Arizona native. So he's got 3 teams in his backyard that he can go and photograph, which I believe that's still the plan. Maybe not in an official capacity, but more like a hobby. But do love the podcast. Make sure that you guys are giving that a subscribe and a listen to the Real Film Nerds because they do some really good reviews. And we're happy to have them as part of the F.A.N show. Next up, NBA Finals. Wow. Who had Lakers in 5? I'm not saying that it has happened yet, but it could be as everything hangs on Game 5, which will be this Friday at 9 Eastern. Lakers got a 2-0 lead in this series, and then Miami, the Heat, decide, we're not finished yet. They took Game 3. And then Game 4 last night, the Lakers take it back, so they lead 3-1. Game 5 is Friday night. Do you think the Lakers will finish them off in Game 5, or do the Heat have a little bit of that Jimmy Butler magic left in the tank to see this to a Game 6? I'd love a Game 7, honestly. I mean, look, we're here, right? Normally I don't care about the NHL or the NBA Finals, but given the drought we went on of live sports, I want to see this, and I want to see it finish to the fullest extent that it can be. So I'm hoping that the Heat can pull off another win and force a Game 6 and then a Game 7. It would be great if it came to that. But you guys, do you think, Fan Nation, Lakers in 5? Is that what you had? Is that what you think is going to happen in Game 5? Is they're going to crown champions, and that will be the LA Lakers? Your thoughts and comments below. And then we also have tonight, so you don't have to wait for this. Tonight, AEW, All Elite Wrestling, will celebrate 30 years of Chris Jericho. That's right, the big 3-0 for Y2J. 30 years in any business. I know we talked about this with The Undertaker during his last Ride series, and just what a tenure. And the things that he's been able to do in the wrestling business and outside the wrestling business, he's honestly one of the people that inspires me in what I do with the F.A.N show. He's the frontman of a rock band. He's one of the greatest of all time to ever step in the squared circle. And you can fight me on that if you want, but you're not going to win. He just is. Him, Shawn Michaels, The Rock, Ric Flair, The Undertaker, those are the guys, okay? But then also he hosts a successful podcast. He's been an actor. He's hosted game shows. I mean, he pretty much has reached the point of celebrity status where he can do whatever he wants to do simply because he's Chris Jericho. So tune in to TNT tonight to celebrate 30 years of the man who gave us the list of Jericho. What is your favorite Jericho moment? Or better yet, who is your favorite Chris Jericho? There's a bunch of eras, and there's a bunch of different reinventions of Chris Jericho, but which one is your favorite? So make sure that you tune into that tonight if you're a wrestling fan, or even if you're not, just witness greatness. Drink it in, man. 30 years of Chris Jericho. Wow. I hope I can say that I've done 30 years of the Fan Show, or been 30 years of media. So those are goals that I've got, but I've done a lot in 5 years of the Fan Show, traveled over 51,000 miles round trip, over 25 games, 14 cities, and 5 championship games. I made a post about that today. I was thinking about it in lieu of Chris Jericho's 30-year celebration. So that's been 5, and kind of taken 2020 off. But 2021, what does the future hold for me and the Fan Show? I'll have to wait and see. Also, Fat Bearded Vinyl Guy gave us his spin before the news of Eddie Van Halen, so I'm sure he's got a great spin, tribute to Van Halen, probably for next week. But for right now, here is another great spin by our favorite Fat Bearded Vinyl Guy, Matt Carwick. So Matt, what are you spinning today?
Hey Fan Nation, I am Matt, the Fat Bearded Vinyl Guy, and welcome to Oztoberfest. All October long, I'll be featuring spins from the Prince of Darkness himself, Ozzy Osbourne. Today, I'm spinning Ozzy's debut solo record, Blizzard of Oz. This album was released in March of 1981 and was Ozzy's first album after his dismissal from Black Sabbath in 1979. Blizzard of Oz was originally supposed to be the name of the band instead of the album. But when the band played a festival in 1980, they were billed simply as Ozzy Osbourne's new band. When the initial album artwork came out, Ozzy's name was much larger than the Blizzard of Oz name, so it came off as an Ozzy solo album rather than a band. When bassist Rob Daisley and drummer Lee Kerslake were eventually dismissed, guitarist Randy Rhoads was the only member of the band remaining. He felt he and Daisley did most of the writing on the album, and he didn't want to be part of a backing band, considering his contribution. Rhoads even considered quitting without even going on tour. Spoiler alert, he stayed. Rhoads also played on Ozzy's follow-up Diary of a Madman before his untimely death in a plane crash in 1982. Now, if that's not enough controversy, in 2002, the album was reissued with the original bass and drum tracks redone by then Ozzy band members Robert Trujillo and Mike Bordin. This is my second favorite Ozzy solo album after 1991's No More Tears. Goodbye to Romance, a song Ozzy wrote as closure to his Black Sabbath days. That is a phenomenal, heartbreaking song, and the guitar solo on Mr. Crowley is one of my favorite guitar solos all time. Blizzard of Oz remains Ozzy's best-selling solo album, having sold 6 million copies worldwide, 4 million in the US alone. That's all for now. For more music talk and vinyl shenanigans, go to fatbeardedvinylguy.com. You'll find links to my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, and watch for another installment of Oztoberfest next week.
And Matt, thank you once again for the great spin. He's really been doing well, and I hope you guys have subscribed to his YouTube channel and check out all the different albums that he is spinning from his vinyl there. One of my favorite segments here on the Fan Show. And we've also got free agency. 'Tis the season. IFL free agency officially started on October 1st, and some of the most notable moves so far, I emphasize so far because I've been told and have it on good authority that there are more big moves to come. But the Spokane Empire have snagged Devontae Sapp Lynch, the younger brother of Marshawn Lynch. Of course, when Oakland, the Panthers, announced that they were going to go dormant for 2021, all those players now needed to look for a new home, and his name was at the top of the list of who is going to get Devontae Sapp Lynch. Well, Sam Adams and Billy Back made a few phone calls, probably I think just one, and said, hey, how do you feel about playing in the Pacific Northwest just like your big bro? Pretty easy sell, right? So welcome to the Spokane Shock, Devontae Sapp Lynch. And welcome back. It was a short time away, if you want to call it that, but Daquan Neal is returning to Iowa to play for Amir Ishmael and the Iowa Barnstormers. Our pick for the 2019 IFL MVP, and now he's going to return and give that offense some much-needed firepower. I'm very excited to see the potential of this team now with his, obviously, familiarity with the area, with the team, the organization, and he's got Connor Holland back there as one of his wide receivers. So that's going to be very fun to watch if you're in the Des Moines area. And probably the biggest move that we saw as far as an actual move. The Neal one was like he was there in Tucson, but not really, and now he's back in Iowa. But the biggest move is, okay, so who's going to be the quarterback for the Tucson Sugar Skulls? E.J. Hilliard, the longtime Quad City Steamwheeler, is going to go play for Dixie Wooten, the self-proclaimed quarterback whisperer for the Sugar Skulls. So that offense loses a great quarterback and gets another great quarterback. Holy cow, that team is going to be really fun to watch. So make sure that you are following me on all major social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, subscribe to the YouTube channel, but I keep up to date on everything happening in the Indoor Football League just about as fast as they do, if not faster. So it's great to be in touch with everything going on and in tune to the latest breaking news by making sure that you are liking and following all things Fan Show. And I thank you very much for that, Fan Nation. You guys have helped this show grow to heights I couldn't even imagine, and it's been a great ride. It really has. So more announcements to come. IFL free agency, of course, the Wranglers need to assemble their roster. We're very excited about that, and there could still be potentially one or two more announcements as far as expansion teams, including one out of San Antonio. Looks like the Valor are going to officially announce where they will be playing. But Week 5 is coming up, and so I have my speed round of my Week 5 pick'em, and they are as follows. I like the Bucks over the Bears on Thursday night. I'm going with the Panthers, even though it's a must-win for Dan Quinn and the Falcons. The Titans over the Bills. I like the Ravens, the Chiefs, the Rams, the Cardinals. This one I really feel is a must-win for Adam Gase and the Jets because the Cardinals are 2-2, and this is a very winnable game, I feel, for the Jets at home if they get things going right. But I'm still picking the Cardinals. I like the Steelers. The Texans, yes, under a new head coach, I think they have the talent, and now they have the right head coach to get one in the win column over the 1-3 Jaguars. The 49ers, of course. The Browns, the Cowboys, the Patriots, the Seahawks, and the Saints on Monday night against the Chargers. That's actually probably going to be a really good game. So, how about you, Fan Nation? How do you feel about Week 5? Am I right? Am I wrong? Drop your predictions, your comments, questions, even answers in the comments below as this premieres wherever you are in Fan Nation. And that brings us to our interview segment. Coach Cory Ross of the Quad City Steamwheelers. He's an all-star if I ever saw one. And all of our interview segments are now brought to you by All-Star Bass Fishing. They're doing amazing things over in the Pacific Northwest. Bobby Brown really has an awesome concept as far as competitive bass fishing, but don't take my word for it. Check out their website, allstarbassfishing.com, and make every weekend an all-star weekend. So here it is, my interview with Coach Cory Ross, our all-star of the week. Enjoy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, joining me this week, another special guest. He is one of my favorite coaches in the Indoor Football League. Of course, I say that about all of them, but I really do mean it. Coach Cory Ross of the Quad City Steamwheelers. How you doing? Welcome back.
Hey, appreciate you having me on, man. I'm excited to be a part of the Fan Show.
It's always great to talk to you guys. My plan, obviously, had been to talk to you guys throughout a really competitive season. You guys probably more wins than losses, or so it looked based on last year and just, that tough loss at the end of the season. But there were so many good stories going into 2020. You guys actually got to see some playing time. I was there. It seemed like you guys were firing on all cylinders, hadn't missed a beat, and then no more. The season was canceled. You're one of the few that actually got to see action that weekend. When you come out with a win and your opener on the road, granted, it's not that far of a travel, but a road game is a road game, and now you're being told that your season is canceled. Like, mentally, what do you go through, and then what do you tell your players?
Yeah, unfortunately, I remember it like it was yesterday. We were coming off a bye week, and we were getting ready to watch our next week's opponents that next week, and the virus happened, and there was question marks everywhere throughout our league, and then wasn't sure what was going to happen. I think some teams still ended up flying out to try to go play the games, and then it just all came to a halt. Um, and I think, like any other fan, we were all hoping that, hey, this was just gonna slow down, die down, and we can get back on track with our season. And I think we all held up some optimistic, thoughts and ideas that, hey, this is gonna happen. But unfortunately, it didn't, and this virus has definitely taken over the world. So, but for us, it was, and our guys. It was a grind. I mean, we had guys that worked hard and stayed over the coming months before we actually had a cancellation of the season, and we're working out constantly, getting reps in, just getting better, understanding the playbook even more. Even though we had that first game, we had a ton of mental errors going into that game, and definitely wasn't the ideal win for us because I had higher hopes on what we were going to be able to do offensively, and defensively we did some things well, but we didn't create the turnovers that we were able to have if we would have obviously handled our business. But it was good to have that first game, and I think we were ready to see what we can do going to our second year of the league.
All right, so you guys have a win. Business as usual, okay, let's fix the mistakes and, let's prepare for the next opponent. Season gets canceled. So one thing I've been going over with coaches is obviously during the offseason you have your list of priorities, locking in your roster, getting your guys conditioned, making sure that your playbook is, going to complement your skill position players well. So for you guys now to have all that extra time, have you taken this as an opportunity to reevaluate anything like your roster, like your playbook, or anything of that nature?
Yeah, I think I had the advantage, and maybe a couple of other teams did, having that first game. Granted, we had several rookies, so it was hard to really evaluate them, knowing it was their first game in true action and being out on that field and being able to tackle and things like that. So we know that comes with the jitters. But I spent a lot of time evaluating that one game going into our offseason, and as far as what we wanted to do, and were we excited about what we had in that one game, and did we want to bring in more? And unfortunately for players, there are seniors graduating, every year. And so even have that season, you would think that, hey, you could bring everybody back. And most teams have that didn't even have a game. But also, as I see with the signings, there's still more and more guys being signed that didn't play or was on rosters going into the season last year. But that's just the nature of the game. It's always about bringing in competition to make each other better. And that's what we do, and I think that's what a lot of our coaches in this league does. That's which is why I love this league and the competition that comes not only from its players, but from its coaches. Yeah, absolutely. I had an opportunity to look, at our roster and that one game and really evaluate where I wanted to be and where I really thought we needed help with, whether it's still bringing the roster in, which we still have an opportunity to do with a lot of those guys, but also bringing guys that will compete at a very, very high level to make us better.
Yeah, I think for you guys, you do have that advantage of getting that first game under your belt and kind of seeing, okay, so where can we improve immediately? Because you have such a short training camp window, and then all of a sudden dress rehearsal's over, it's showtime, you're back to the field, and you're competing for wins and losses. Now, free agency has officially started. One of the biggest surprises was E.J. Hilliard going from Quad City to Tucson. We wish him all the best. Obviously, it's never personal, at least for the most part. It's a business, and they want to do what they feel is best for them in their career. And so we wish him, again, nothing but the best. Hope he has a successful season. But I'm sure Quad City, the fans are wanting to know if there's anyone on your radar or if anybody that you've talked to since free agency started to now fill that quarterback role for you guys.
Yeah. We have set. We'll make our announcements here pretty soon, but we that's a position that I value, very much, and they definitely command this offense and this team. So I'm looking for guys that are on that level of at least professionalism and just that kill factor in them. And then we have about three guys that we have approached and looking for a fourth to come in and compete at that quarterback position. Much love and wishful thinking for EJ. I'm hoping he has a great year. I think he'll playing under Dixie Wooten, who I think is one of the best quarterback whisperers in this game. Is going to be it's going to do works for him. I think he's going to be awesome. I hope and pray that he stays healthy and he gets through that season, because I know he has dreams of getting and aspirations of getting to a higher league, and what better coach to do it with. So we have nothing but respect, appreciate the battles that he's given us and the things that he's done in our community. But like I said, the next man up, and for me, it's another challenge for me. You get comfortable when you have a quarterback that's been with you for 2 or 3 years, and he kind of understands your system. It's almost like having a second coach out there. So it's almost like giving me a second win to bring in a quarterback and mold him to do great things. So that's a goal of mine and our team. And yeah, we'll definitely we have a couple guys that we're eyeing, and it's going to be a great competition for that QB spot.
Now, I know that it's not the best example or analogy, but you coaches, once free agency starts, kind of like car salesmen, your pitch, your elevator pitch, your 30 seconds of, what separates you from the rest. And look at you, you got your Steamwheelers hat, you got your Baltimore Ravens jersey behind you over your shoulder. So, I got to ask, what's your pitch or these conversations that you have with players that you're hoping to bring it to the great place of Moline, Illinois?
For me, it's just really no pitch. It's really just being honest. I understand the grind and that it takes. I unfortunately, unlike a lot of our other coaches in our league, have not played indoor football. I had some best friends that did, but I played in the NFL, and I also play out. But I do have a somewhat of a story like them. I played 3 years in the league, but I also was undrafted free agent, and I came from the bottom and had to hold my own there. So I understand what it takes to get there and stay there. But I also understand when I got injured, had to sit out a season. I went to a startup league that was similar to the XFL, which was the UFL. Dennis Green was my head coach there, and I was trying to get back to the NFL. And when I played those 2 or 3 years there, and thought I had a great opportunity to get back, and unfortunately it didn't happen. But I understand what these guys are going through, and I can appreciate that even more. So for me, it's being honest with them, and also just trying to get an idea of what they're trying to do and what their goals are. That's all we have. I know one thing's for sure. You come to Quad City, you're gonna have everything you need to be successful. And our facilities are phenomenal. Ownership is great. We just want to, and I believe my coaching staff are going to put in the work to put you in the best position to get your opportunity. And that's all we ask to do, and that's all we can do. If anybody says they can do more, then so be it. But I truly appreciate I truly believe in the process of developing these young men, not only to be great football players and get the opportunities that they want, but also I hope you leave my team in an understanding of what else life has to offer, if not this football thing.
You guys really do have everything set to give you an advantage as a player. You mentioned, we're going to set you up to succeed. I've been there only once, but already a place that I would love to go back to as soon as I get the opportunity. But between your ownership and Doug Bland, front office, you got Destiny Brown as the assistant GM and her passion for football and for this league. Absolutely. And Nigel Stevens, all you guys, you send me cool swag like this, it really is a family environment in the Quad Cities, and for you Steamwheelers, from the fans to the front office. What is it that's a challenge for you, though, as a coach at this level to, recruit players that, like you, haven't played the indoor game, and they're wondering, okay, so what is this all about, and what can it do for me and help me get to where I want to go?
Unfortunately, I don't think it's necessarily a challenge. I think the only challenge is competing with the coaches and the other big time, the other big time organizations in this league. That's the challenge that we have. What do we have? I mean, down there in Arizona, they got about 3 teams down there, and the weather's beautiful, and the downtown scenery is crazy. But we have a great community. Surprisingly, I enjoy Quad City very, very much. And the nightlife is great. So, obviously we do have those guys that want to understand nightlife and like some of those hot cities, but we are happy about what we do in the front office. Like you said, Destiny Brown is one of the, if not most passionate people, not only with what she does, but about our football team. I don't think I have a bigger fan or she gets after it during games, and I'm a coach that's open for any suggestions. So she'll probably throw something at me that she see, and I'll laugh at her, but I'm like, oh, you saw something there. So it's a family friendly area for us, man. We enjoy each other. The community enjoys us. Our fan base, our media is just top notch. I mean, you never find if you want exposure, this is the place to be. I mean, we are on the news channels every week. We do a media day that's just phenomenal. And some of our phenomenal sponsors that we have hold some of these events, and we have food for the media. Our players and our fans are just sitting there asking the questions, and it's just a great atmosphere. It's everything that you want an indoor league to have when you think about going. And we hope to show some of those guys that we sent out a nice recruiting tape. If you want to know that we highlight a lot of those things that we actually do in our when we send out the contract. So I think guys email us back or they call afterwards, especially Nigel. He does a great job with it, and they're just like, man, Coach, I love what you guys have. And that video, they ask me questions about the video and everything. So I'm just excited about having a group of staff, a great staff that enjoy this just as much as I do. I mean, I do the grunt work. I like to break down the film. I love to do all that stuff. But when you have a Destiny, a Nigel, a ownership like Doug, and when you have guys like that put their all into it and find ways to make you better and make your organization better, it's a big plus, man.
Yeah, you guys have always been great about not only giving the fans what they want, but kind of listening to the fans and what their feedback is for you guys and what they want. And I know that Destiny loves being able to put awesome game days together for you guys, and you're there doing the work behind the scenes and everything. So it's really just it's a beautiful cycle, not a vicious one of you guys, the give and the take all around with the fans and game days. So I love what you guys have going on up there in Quad City, and I really hope that you guys have another great season. So best of luck to you guys. I know we've waited longer than we wanted to, but at least you guys got to see action. I was there, so I mean, it was a little scratch on that big itch that is indoor football.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, well, mine's still itching, I tell you that.
Well, we do have football going on right now. It's time for one of my least favorite segments right now, as I keep taking L's from you coaches, who I guess that means you know what you're talking about. It is Fan versus Fan show. We've got the 6 best games of the week. Went over them with you. You have picked your 3 guaranteed winners, and so let me hear from you which 3 games you're going with in the winners.
I will go with guaranteed winners, 3 guaranteed winners.
Yep.
I'm going to take the Bucks over the Bears. I mean, you got Brady over there, so the GOAT's over there, and I think he's picking up that system, and he's gonna do wonders with it. As old as he is, he's throwing that football. So I'm taking the Bucks over the Bears. Let's see. You gave me some ugly games to get after. I'm liking the Bills versus the Titans. I'm liking what Jared Allen's down there doing, man. He's looking special, and he's looking like one of the future star quarterbacks of the NFL. So I'm loving what he's doing, and he has Diggs over there dominating right now, and they're featuring him a lot. So I think they'll take that win over the Titans. Let's see. It's tough. I'm liking the Chargers and the Saints game. I'm not liking the Chargers, even though they have a great young quarterback who's doing his thing. The Saints, you can't count out Drew Brees, and if he gets Michael Thomas back, man, that could be a win there. Ooh. I'm going to take the Saints on that one. I'm taking the Saints over the Chargers, even though that team is quietly looking like a sleeping giant over there. And my last is that three? I'll give you three. Yeah, there you go.
All right, so you like the Bucks over the Bears, the Bills over the Titans, and the Saints over the Chargers. So the other games were the Colts and the Browns, the Dolphins and 49ers, and the Texans, and hosting the Jags.
Forgot about the Browns.
Which is how crazy is that we're in week 5 and we're talking about them being in one of the best matchups again. Wow. So I need some redemption. I need some wins here. So I am actually going to go with I'm going to pick my 49ers over the Dolphins. Ugly loss against the Eagles. See, I so thought they were going to win. That's how much I thought they were going to win. So I'm going to pick 49ers over Dolphins. I'm not touching the Jags-Texan game. That's just a mess right there. I am going to actually, because I said that I thought the Browns might actually be a good team, and Coach Brian Schmidt from Spokane said, no, they're not good. They've just played bad teams. And the Colts, are they a good team or have they just played bad teams? So I feel like there's something to prove here. I'm actually going to pick the Browns and then the Titans. So you like the Bills. I like the Titans. Yeah, we can't pick the same winner if we pick the same game, but I will pick the Titans against your Bills because they've had an extra week of rest, and this is a team that they're not flashy. They're really not. Josh Allen is flashy, yes, with Diggs and that whole offense, but the Titans all of last year, they played fundamental football. They were ground and pound, and they did that all season long, and I think they continue that mentality this year as well.
I'll let you have that whole synopsis you just gave out. Not gonna happen. Henry's a little banged up. We'll see how he comes after his bye week, but Jared Allen can throw the football and he can run it. So I'll take that win.
All right, Coach. Well, it's been fun to catch up with you. Again, you guys are awesome. Thanks for the free stuff. I love collecting stuff from the Indoor Football League and wearing it here on the show. And you guys, I think, are primed to have another really good season. You guys will figure it out as far as who's going to be your new guy there at the quarterback position. So, Steamwheeler fans that are watching, don't lose hope. You guys got a great coach in Cory Ross who knows what he's doing, and we hope for a lot more exciting Steamwheeler football in 2021.
Hey, appreciate you having me on the show, man. We love what you do, and the viewership you bring to the IFL is huge, man, and I just want to say thank you for that as well.
I appreciate that, Coach. Always great to talk to you guys and visit the cities where I can. So once again, he is Coach Cory Ross of the Quad City Steamwheelers. Sights set on 2021 season. I think for all of us now, we're just ready to have some indoor action back in our minds. So hey, best of luck on everything you got going on right now, but you take care of yourself, stay safe, and stay healthy above all.
You too. Absolutely. Everybody. Appreciate you, buddy.
Thank you, Coach. And one more big thank you to Coach Ross for joining me on the show. I really do love doing the fan versus fan show segments, even if I am 0-3 against the coaches. But I guess that does go to show you that they must be doing something right. They must know their stuff. But it's still fun to talk shop with them and get the different quotes and different thoughts and feelings from these guys. They really do great work, and they really want to develop young talent and give them a shot at the next level. So always great to have them here. We'll see who I have lined up for next week. And remember, make sure that you're following The Fan Show on all major social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and that you are subscribed to the show on YouTube if you're not liking it on Facebook. If Facebook isn't your thing, and I don't blame you, and maybe Twitter isn't either, you can at least subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/c/TheFanShow. And if you can't watch, at least listen, and that's available in podcast form, Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, and Spreaker.com. We try to do new episodes every Wednesday, and I continue to strive to bring you the best indoor football and nonsense content that I can week in and week out. Thank you guys so much for continuing to support the Fan Show and for a great 5 years, and here's to many more. But once again, it's not official unless it's Fan Show official, and we are officially out of here. So until next time, best of luck to you and yours. Go Niners, and it's all fun and games until you butt fumble. Good night, folks.
Do you remember the time that Mark Sanchez ran into his own player's butt? That was funny sports.
Thank you for having me on the show, man. I love the Fan Show.